Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this Wednesday morning. It's been a great Memorial Day weekend, and you're still getting pictures and all kinds of stuff coming on. So let's get our weather. I got a real special guest this morning. So let's go ahead and get our weather. 85 is going to be high, low 72, and water temperature for the first time has hit 80 degrees. So we're going to talk more about that later, especially on Friday's fishing forecast. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside and do. The Appalachian go to Bluntstown. It's actually reading a 6.5. And the Chalkatahatchee, Carabville, 5.7. They're pretty close. Both of them they're dropping out a little bit. Had some rain and all, but they are moving pretty good and dropping on out. I've got some good reports from all the creek folks fishing down there. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn right here on 23rd Street. We're looking at great tides all week. Today, look at today's tide. On Wednesday, the 27th, we're looking at a really strong tide. High tide is at 12:32. Smack dab in the middle of the day. It's going to be coming in all morning, and they're going to start dropping out. So you get a couple hours, about 9 o'clock is going to be a good time, about 1 or 2 o'clock or 2 o'clock will be a good time. Speaking of times, our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outrigger down at Port St. Joe. Fine folks down there, George Duran and all his staff. We're looking at 4:40 to 6:40 this morning, and this afternoon 5:08 to 7:08. So anywhere between 3 and 7 this afternoon, and I might go between 3 and 7 this afternoon. That's going to be a good time to go. All right, we're going to take a break, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. Again, the first thing I want to do is go ahead and congratulate all of the graduates for 2020. I mentioned it before. Most of them wrapped it up over this past weekend. It's cool to see these small towns having a graduation on the football field. I appreciate all the hard work these administrators and staff put in to keep everything safe and spread out. I saw Vernon's and St. Joe's and Sneed's and a lot of different schools were putting them on. I hate to call out names because I know a lot of y'all did it. So all of them did it. We didn't get it quite done here in Bay County. I thought Tommy Oliver Stadium could have been spread out, maybe held tickets to four per family, and they might could have done that. But anyway, really good job on that. Also, the fishing was really good Saturday and Sunday, and the Memorial Day, the last couple of days, it's just been really good fishing. I'll give you a midweek fishing report. I'm going to show you some pictures here in a second, but it's really been good. In fact, let's go ahead and go to some of these pictures. This first picture here, we're going to go ahead and let's speak of graduation. We're talking about, this is, Bo Collins sent this. This is Sun River, graduating from Port St. Joe High School, and zooming in there. Here he throws that graduation cap up in the air and shoots it with his gun. Now, is that not a true outdoorman right there down to Howard's Creek? Good job, River Rollins, Bo and Miranda. I know y'all are proud of him. He's got good things ahead of him. All right, speaking of more fishing, Billy Grantham sent this. Saturday, he was down on the East Bay. He's good about messaging me from the boat. First picture he sent. Look at this big old flounder here. He's out there with his son-in-law. They come down from Sneed's and they fish really good down there in East Bay. Okay? And then they caught a big old trout. Look at that big old trout on the flats. And he's got it caught that on a voodoo shrimp. But that is a fine one. Then also this redfish, or this picture here is a redfish. They call big trout. They call flounder trout and redfish. So they got the slam right there. Now I want to put in my little grand-nephew. We've had his pictures on before. Dylan Chester up there in Bristol. I got 3 or 4 pictures of Dylan, 12 years old. This is his first redfish out of St. Joe Bay. Good job, Dylan. Okay, and then he also caught some other fish, and you see the pictures here. He's got all kind of cool stuff. Then he went fishing this past Thursday with his pawpaw over there in Chattahoochee, fishing the Big River. You see the bass he caught. So, and then what do they do with all these fish? Matthew cooks them, and they eat them. So that's a good job there. All right, that catches up on pictures. We're going to have a lot more pictures next day or two. So we'll go ahead and take a break. Come back with our very special guest. All right, welcome welcome back. And my special guest, I'm gonna say very special guest, is my daughter, Wendy.
Hello.
Hey baby, we're talking about, I don't think, we've had her on some video and all with the kids and everything over the years, but she's actually you never come on the show, have you?
One other time.
You did?
Yes, sir.
That was in Studio A,
Yes.
but it's Studio B.
This one's better.
Yeah, so Wendy and the family, they're spending this week with us. We've been having a wonderful time. Saturday we went kayaking and that was fun, wasn't it?
It was. We stayed away from the beach.
It was funny. The people were sending all kind of pictures of all the traffic and all the people out there, and we're out here just paddling in North Bay, and nobody was out there really. It was special.
It was perfect.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show a lot of you folks know her. Probably most of y'all don't, especially that live out in Jackson County and Holmes County. But Wendy went to Moser High School and played basketball for me and made the Hall of Fame and all kind of great records and growing up. But we used to have some good times with our family, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I know you have memories of both of your grandparents on both sets, and
yes.
that was some fun times. What about? We're going to show some pictures. Now, once you graduated, tell the folks what you did when you graduated from high school.
So I went to Gulf Coast for 2 years, and after that I went to the University of Alabama. I majored in communications, and right after college I moved to Nashville, Tennessee.
And got a job with
the Country Music Association.
The CMA.
It was very exciting.
It was an amazing story. I'm going to take time to tell her. She was going to give herself 1 year because it's hard to get on. And she actually went down Music Row knocking on doors. I know she did, knocking on doors. And she called us. She called us on like a Tuesday night. I said, "Dad, I don't think I can find a job. Will y'all come get me and bring me back home?" And we actually rented a U-Haul trailer. And Gail and I drove that 10-hour trip. Tell the story from there, Wendy. It was.
Well, that day I got a call from the lady at the Country Music.
On that Friday.
At CMA, and she said, well, because I had been bugging her for months, I would call, I would send notes, and she kept saying, well, keep in touch because the position will open soon. And literally the weekend my parents were driving to Nashville to move me back home, she called and said, a position has opened up, come in and interview. So it was perfect timing.
It was, yes. We're talking about God's timing. That was awesome. And so you got hired, and CMA's not a big organization, wasn't it, back then?
About 26 people on staff.
And the whole staff.
And it was an international, organization, and it was great. I met lots of famous people. This was in the early to mid 90s, and got Dad a special picture with Dolly. And
we just had, they would have, we would go to CMA award show they have on Wednesdays, but we'd go like on Mondays and Tuesdays during the rehearsal. I got a special backstage, all access pass, and man, I was a big wheel. I mean, I walked by Alan Jackson and this guy and this girl over here, and they all knew Wendy.
It was exciting.
And she said, Dad, one year she said, Dad, you got to meet this girl. She's really good when you come to fanfare. You got to meet her. And she wants me. You said she wants me to be the campaign. I mean, to be the
kind of the liaison in Nashville, because she was from Canada and lived in New York.
And I said, yeah, where's this girl from? And because Wendy said she's gonna make it. I said, where's she from? Canada. And I said, and what's her name? Shania. I said, wait a minute, Canada? And not Oklahoma or Georgia. And Shania? And sure enough, it was Shania Swain. And I remember walking down when we first met her. We walked down, it was fanfare, table was set up, and there was nobody at her table.
Yeah.
You and I were walking up to her table, and she came out in front and gave you a big hug and said, Wendy, is this your dad? Yeah. I said, she knows your name? And so that was Shania Twain. And you had a chance to go with her full time, didn't you?
I did. I worked for her too, and she's very sweet.
We're going to tell you a story. We got all kind of stories about meeting Dolly Parton and all that. But so anyway, got married, and then you went into, you and Walter moved down here to Panama City. And you met Walter in Vanderbilt. Y'all met and married.
Yep.
And moved down here, and you were a stay-at-home mom for a while.
Had 3 precious babies who are now 19, 17, and 15, and your viewers watched them grow up on your show, so they would probably be shocked at how tall Mason is. He's over 6 feet tall, And Ashley's a great volleyball player. Whitney is living in Nashville. She's so creative. She loves photography. So my kids are doing great.
The kids are doing great, and y'all had Walter was in financial planning and still is in financial planning, and you ended up getting a really good teaching job. Tell us about your teaching career here.
All right. Well, Joyce Buttermore out at Gulf Coast was the first person to give me an opportunity to teach, and she recently passed away, and that's a great loss. Those of us who took her class for public speaking out at Gulf Coast loved her. So she hired me at Gulf Coast, and I taught there for about 9 years. And then Larry Bollinger hired me at Bay Haven Charter Academy, and I worked there. I taught middle school history for 5 years, and it was fantastic.
It really was. I would get her kids, when we got to Mosley, I would have them. And they said, people always ask you, are you Coach Chester's daughter?
Right.
And then when the Bay Haven kids came up there, are you Miss Woodruff's dad?
I loved it.
It was a good joke at all. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We've got some interesting information for you. We're going to be right back. Welcome back. Sitting here with my favorite daughter, Wendy Chester Woodrick, and it's just a pleasure and honor to have her on our show. I couldn't ask for a better daughter. From holding her here to right here, it's just awesome. We're going to add some names. Alan Henley, Southport. Alan, I did remember. Alan Henley and Jay Atkins, Panama City Beach. We may draw later. We'll see if we have time. We got a lot to go over. We got a ton. You can imagine the pictures you have. We just picked out right before we came on the show. We got some pictures together, and Wendy, I call you Whitney a lot, don't I?
Yes, that's okay.
Let's show the first picture here. Okay, right here. Tell us, you remember that? You were little. You and Mason. You and Chip.
Yeah.
I got too many kids in the family. All right, this is my son and daughter. That's me going topless there, but I've been hunting. It was hog hunting, so I was up in Quincy.
Right, in Grandma's driveway.
And I was asking y'all to drag that hog over there by that tree so we clean it.
And you can tell by the look on my face, it smelled so bad. I do vividly remember.
Yeah, you remember the smell still?
I do.
Okay, let's go over to Choctaw River, just sitting on the riverbank. You were probably 14 or 15 there, baiting your hook.
Well, I think you were teaching me how to bait my hook with a worm. I've always, I used to fish with a cricket, and I was so squeamish of worms, and you were so patient with me. And you.
That's right. Finally we talked to you and put a worm on it. This is on the banks of the Choctaw River. That was our dog. Which dog was that? You remember?
Sally, maybe?
Sally. That was Sally.
Yeah.
And I'm just drinking a glass of tea and you fishing. I remember we just had the best time that Saturday afternoon. We were camping. Had a great little camping trip up there. Okay, and then this picture, I think we're at Crooked Island Sound, and it was late in the afternoon. We were saltwater fishing.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
fun.
that's fun. We got so many. When sheephead fishing, this is in our driveway. That was a long time ago. And this one too long ago, a year or two ago. You know, nice redfish you caught.
Yep.
And this was when?
Last week.
That last week up in Tennessee.
Yep, in our pond. We caught some brim, and we took them home and scaled them and fried them, and they were delicious.
Okay. All right, like I said, I'm going to throw some more pictures. I may throw some in while we're talking, different pictures and all. But anyway, so now, we got the background, the foundation laid. So we had this pandemic coming. Now, tell folks where you're teaching now up there outside, about 45 miles west of Nashville.
Yes, so Walter and the kids and I live in Franklin, Tennessee, which is about 20 minutes south of Nashville. But we own a farm about an hour west in Dixon County, Tennessee, and I have taught at Charlotte Middle School there for 4 years. So I still teach middle school history. There.
It's a country school.
It is very rural, sweet kids, sweet families. I love it.
Yeah, and I know I've been there a time or two, and this is unique and all. It'd be really like in the Florida Panhandle, smaller towns around here.
Yes.
So anyway, when the pandemic comes, okay, the coronavirus is here, so everybody, you know, just what happened, we all closed school down. We thought it was just going to be for like a week or so at first.
Right.
And then we found out, so you spent your whole life helping people. I know it sort of runs in our family, from our grandparents and to your grandparents, and we've been, you know, we just try to help people. And you had an opportunity, so tell folks what this opportunity you had to do, so share that.
So I do have an educator's heart. I love to teach, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I probably take after my dad.
She's real good.
And So a few months ago, I decided, why don't I teach people about Medicare?
So you're not teaching now because they just closed up. So
Right,
you got
March
time.
10th was my last day at school, and so now I have time on my hands, and I'll have the summertime. And I remember talking to you and Mom when y'all enrolled in Medicare, and I asked Mom, I said, well, what do you have? What are your benefits? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, why didn't you ask when you enrolled? And she said, Wendy, I did not know what to ask. And I have found that is common. A lot of people are so confused by Medicare, and I thought this would be a great way for me to help people understand it. So I took some tests, I got licensed to sell insurance, and I got licensed in Medicare. Then I took training classes from different carriers, different companies. I passed all of their certifications. So I've got lots of knowledge now about Medicare, and that's what I'm focusing on right now.
Now you're licensed in Tennessee and Florida.
Right.
But you could get licensed all over just right now. Most of the people you know Tennessee and Florida.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell us, it is a complicated, your mom and I talked about it, most of our peers, when we turn 65, tell us what happened when you turn 65, automatically go into it. So.
Well, because I'm a history teacher, let me tell you a little bit of history about Medicare, because that's the first thing I looked up. I was fascinated by it. Mm-hmm. So the first president to ever mention some kind of health care coverage for the retirement age people was Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
He was running for his third term, and he used it on the campaign trail. He did not get reelected for a third term. But really, President Truman was the first sitting president to go to Congress and say, I want to pass a bill about Medicare. It did not pass, but he was a huge proponent, a big supporter, because what's happening is people were retiring in their 60s and losing health care or insurance from their jobs, yeah. And because they were aging or maybe they were a little sickly, they couldn't get insurance coverage, and so that's a problem. Yeah. Even President Kennedy tried to push for it. So the president who signed the Medicare health care into law is President Johnson, and there's a great picture of President Johnson signing the health care bill, Medicare bill, and his wife, Lady Bird, is standing behind him, and the very first recipient of Medicare is President Truman. And his wife, Bess, who is standing behind him in this picture, she is the second recipient. So I kind of love knowing the history of Medicare.
That's cool.
It has changed a lot. You can see in this picture there's a card, and all they had to check was a box. Yes, I want Medicare. No, I don't.
We can't do that now.
Now it's pages and pages and pages. So I just wanted to kind of talk to your viewers and give them a little bit of an idea of what to expect when you're turning 65, and you basically have two options for Medicare. You have Original Medicare, that is parts A and B, and that is your hospital coverage, your doctors, and Medicare covers probably about 80% of your medical cost. Then you can buy a supplemental plan called a Medigap plan to pay the other 20%. So that kind of helps you cover those co-payments or co-insurance that you might have to pay. You would also have to buy a prescription drug plan to go along with that supplemental plan. So that's one option for Medicare. Your second option is called Medicare Advantage. So in the 1990s, the government opened this up to private insurance companies, and they said, okay, you can start offering these plans. And so what they have done is they have bundled together Part A, Part B. Many of them have the drug plan with them, and they added even extra benefits like vision care, hearing, dental care. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of this little bundled package, and that's Medicare Advantage. A lot of those plans are kind of like an HMO or a PPO, mm-hmm. So you would have to choose doctors and providers in a network. Mm-hmm. And Original Medicare, you can pretty much go to any doctor who will accept Medicare, so you don't have to worry about a network with that. So what I would love to do, I love to help people enroll in Medicare. So if you have questions, or if you're confused and just want to ask me, what's my better option, I would love to talk to you. I would love to help you enroll. And it's different. Everybody's got a different situation. Yeah. Everybody's got different financial plans. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, this is awesome. It just made me feel good that she's still, even though she's not teaching right now, she's still helping people, and this is great. So So you're licensed to do it, and if anybody getting close to 65, or if they have friends, no matter anywhere in Florida, anywhere in Tennessee, you're licensed to help them.
Yes.
And people don't pay you. Nobody pays you. You don't get paid by them.
Yeah, usually people say, now how do you get paid? Am I paying you for this? I get paid by the carriers, and I am licensed with several, Cigna, United, Aetna, and I get paid the same amount from them. So my job is, I'm not worried about what insurance companies are offering. I am worried about what you need, and I'll find a plan that fits your needs the best, and that's what I do.
So you're gonna be here all weekend. I mean, they can call you after the show if they need to.
Yes, call me today. Yes.
But you're gonna be here. Plus, a lot of people can deal on the phone. I mean, want to call you. Well, you're gonna be here this week, and we got a phone number and email and all that here on the screen. But keep in mind now, this is. I wish we'd have known. I wish you were doing this when we jumped in, because we'd have known a lot more about it. So. Anybody getting close to 65, they need to get a hold of you.
Yes, and I'll tell you, you need to enroll when you're eligible. There is a 6-month window for supplemental plans. There's a 7-month window for Medicare Advantage plans. There's a window for your drug plans, and if you miss that window, you could be at risk for paying some late enrollment fees.
Yeah, you were telling me that. You got like a
penalty. Don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. My contact information, I have a website. It is finalyunderstandmedicare.com. You can look at that, and my contact information is on there, but I'm going to give it to you. My email address is my name, wendywoodrick@gmail.com, and my cell phone number is 850-819-5998. I will be happy to help you.
Well, that's it in a nutshell. So
Yep.
That's a great job.
There's one more thing I do want to, you mentioned telephonic, people calling.
Yeah.
A lot of people are suspicious when somebody calls and says, hey, I need, can I help you with Medicare? And they don't trust people on the phone. But this industry is going to telephonic enrollment.
Okay.
So you need to
call her.
be aware.
You see her now.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. That's a great job.
Thank
great
you.
job. Good class today.
Love you.
Thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Do something good today for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.